Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. We are continuing in Masecht Berachot Daf Gimel amud Bet. This will be part 8 of the Shi'ur. We are 13 lines from the bottom, beginning with the words V'David mihavayade paga de leila emat. Before we begin the Gemara, we need to recall what we've been learning in the past 2 classes. We started speaking about when David made a statement, Chatzot Laila akum lehodot lach. When David the Melech said that he would wake up at midnight to thank Hashem. We asked a question, did David the Melech really wake up at midnight? We know that David the Melech woke up in the beginning of the night. We gave 3 separate answers. Today we actually want to go back on that first statement. Did David the Melech really wake up at Chatzot? Meaning, when David the Melech says that he woke up at Chatzot, doesn't matter which answer you're going to use, whether he strengthened himself, whether Chatzot never passed him, doesn't matter, Rabotai, which answer you're going to use. We want to see today, how did David the Melech know what time midnight was, what point midnight was? Because we'll see the Gemara is going to ask, how can David know when Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know? That's what we're going to try to discuss today, Be'ezrat Hashem. The Gemara begins, V'David, mi havayad paga de leila emat. And David, did he know when half of the night was? Now if you pay close attention, half of the night means midnight. But the Gemara says over here, Palga de leila. Why are we calling it Palga de leila? Why are we calling it half of the night? Because as we'll see, the commentary in the back of the book in Sefer Mikraot explains whenever we say kechatzot laila, what does it mean chatzot laila? What does it mean midnight? Chatzot literally means it's half. The night is divided into 2. So the middle part of the night, as we'll see, which means midnight. But the Gemara is telling us now, Paga de Leila, half of the night, meaning midnight. So the Gemara asks a question. David, mi havayada paga de leila emat? And did David know when half of the night was? Ha'ashta Moshe Rabbeinu havayada. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu did not know when midnight is. So how did David HaMelech know? Dichtiv, like it's written in the Torah, Kechatzot alayla, ani yotze bitoch Mitzrayim. Before Rabotai, we're going to continue to the Torah or Shalom and go back to the Sefer Mikraot in the back. We want to understand what is going on over here. So basically what happened was, Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, about midnight, I, meaning Hashem is speaking now, Yotze bitoch Mitzrayim. I will go out forth amongst the Egyptians. That's the verse. If we look into Torah or Shalom, what happened over here? In Od Zayin, he says, Vayomer Moshe said, Ko Amar Hashem, this is what Hashem said, Kechatzot alayla, about midnight, Ani yotze bitoch Mitzrayim, I will go forth amongst the Egyptians. Now if we go look in the back of the book, in Sefer Mikraot, if you look into Shemot and Perik, Yur Aleph, Pasuk Dalet, over there he says, what does that mean, Vayomer Moshe? Who was Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to? So the commentary says, El Paro, Moshe Rabbeinu said to Paro, Ko Amar Hashem, this is what Hashem said, Kachatzot halayla, like the half of the night. So the commentary explains over here, what does that mean, Kachatzot halayla? Kehechalek halayla, when you divide the night. You see the word kechatzot alayla? When you divide the night, you get midnight. Vayomer Moshe ko Amar Hashem kechatzot alayla. And Moshe Rabbeinu said to Paro, this is what Hashem said about half of the night, meaning about midnight. Ani yotze bitoch Mitzrayim. Hashem is saying these words. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Paro that Hashem said these words, that I will go forth amongst the Egyptians. What does the commentary say? Umet kol bechor be'eretz Mitzrayim. And every firstborn Egyptian shall die in the land of Egypt. So we see over here clearly that Hashem gave a prophecy to Moshe Rabbeinu Moshe Rabbeinu went and he delivered the message to Paro. Now I'm not going to keep on saying half of the night. I'll just use midnight, but you guys get the point. Chatzot Laila only means half of the night. That's how you get midnight. I just, Rabotai, the wording, okay? That's all, just understand that, okay? So let's go back into the Gemara in Daf Gimel Amud Bet. And did David know when midnight is? Now Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know. If Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know, how does David know? How do we know that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know? Because it says in the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu was sending a message to Paro about midnight. He's sending the message that Hashem said, Hashem is going to come and he's going to go forth amongst the Egyptians and kill all the first Egyptian boys. The Gemara asks a question. This word kechatzot that Moshe Rabbeinu used, what does that mean, kechatzot? What does that mean about midnight? My kechatzot. When Moshe Rabbeinu said kechatzot, what does that mean, kechatzot? Meaning, who said that word kechatzot? If you're going to tell me that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu kachatzot, that's why Moshe Rabbeinu went and he said kachatzot to Paro. Because remember, Hashem told Moshe, Moshe told Paro. But that's a problem. Mi'ika sfeika kamei shamaya? Is there a doubt before heaven? Is there a doubt before Kadosh Baruch Hu? Does he have to say about midnight what he doesn't know when he's going to come and destroy the Egyptian firstborns? Of course he knows. So what's the understanding? Kechatzot Laila. That's what you have to say, that Hashem never said it. Ela rather, the Amalei, rather, Moshe Rabbeinu, no, rather Hashem said to Moshe, Bachatzot, at Chatzot, Ve'ateihu, however he came, Ve'amar, and he said, Kachatzot, but he said Kachatzot. Hashem really told Moshe Rabbeinu, Bachatzot. But when Moshe Rabbeinu came to Paro, he said, Kachatzot. Alma Misafkalei, so we see from over here that Moshe Rabbeinu did have a doubt. Did David have a yada? And David knew what Chatzot is? How can David say Chatzot Laila kum lehodod lach? How can he make such a statement? Now, before we do continue, two things. You see there's words in the parentheses, which I did miss. There's a reason why I missed it, because they're in parentheses. But I want to try to do it with you, Bezrat Hashem, another. Very, very different prashad, very different understanding than what we've been learning up to now. You'll see. But before I do that, I want to do with you the Rashi. Before I do the Rashi, just want to make a small note. If you pay close attention in the word mi, v'david mi hava yada, or the other language when it says mi ikas feika kamei shamaya, what does the word mi? You might think to yourself, the word mi means who. So I'm going to just introduce you, Rabotai. The word over mi doesn't necessarily have to mean who. A lot of times in the Gemara, you pay attention, you pick up from this word mi. Shulchan Aruch, Tur, Rishonim, they use the language of mi. It doesn't necessarily mean who. What does the word mi mean? Very simple. The word means, in Hebrew I will say it, ha'im. It's a question format. You're building a question. For example, V'David mi hava yada, and David did he know. See what I just did? I made a question. The other one, mi ika sfeika. Mi ika is there. Mi is there a doubt before Hashem? If you guys pay attention, what am I doing? I'm formulating a question. Whenever you see the word mi, understand that it's a question, not who said. No, it's a question. Okay? Now, Rabotai, let's just do the Rashi before we touch the Hagot V'Tzinim. Rashi says, Ve'ata ihu ve'amar kechatzot, and came David HaMelech to Paro, and he said, about midnight. Why did David HaMelech say about midnight? Not David HaMelech, I apologize. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu say about midnight? Lefi shelo haya yodeya lechaven hasha'ah, since he didn't know, had to go ahead and calculate the time of midnight, ulahamid devar b'sha'at ha'meorah, and to establish his words at the time when the event was going to take place. That's why he said Bachatzot, about midnight. Now, Rabotai, I just want to explain to you like this. You need to understand this second line in Rashi when he says, why did Rashi have to add that? If Rashi would have said, right, the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say Bachatzot, but rather Kachatzot, because tell me, he didn't know how to calculate the Chatzot period, the midnight. He didn't know. Finish. So we see from over here clearly, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know and David did know. You could ask that question. Why did Rashi go in with another understanding? And to establish his words at the time of the event. Why did I need that extra line? Now you have to understand, Abotai, when Rashi says something, it's not just for nothing. So basically, Rashi is answering a question. Do you know why Rashi had to say it? The reason why David and Melech had to say Kachatzot and not Bachatzot, Rashi is teaching you like this. Had he said Bachatzot, like Hashem told him, at Chatzot, David and Melech was afraid maybe not David and Melech, why am I keep on saying David and Melech? Rabbi said you get the point. Moshe Rabbeinu. Ay. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu go ahead and why did he say Kachatzot and not Bachatzot? Rashi tells you. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid. Had the Egyptians they would have asked him, can you show us that period? What does it mean, Bachatzot? When is that going to be? Can you show me some proof? Moshe Rabbeinu was ensuring himself. The reason why he said Kachatzot, because he knew that if they're going to ask him, can you show me what means Bachatzot? What is that? Show me that point when it's going to be at midnight. Moshe Rabbeinu was not going to be able to establish his words at the time when this event is going to take place. That's why he went and he said Kachatzot. A similar answer Tosfot, because by the way, we're going to have to do Tosfot today. I know it's a Rashi class, but we're going to have to do Tosfot only because the Hagod V'Tzunim throws me there. So, one more time Rashi. Ve'ati ihu ve'amar Kachatzot. Came Moshe Rabbeinu and he said, about midnight, the reason why he said Kachatzot, because he didn't know how to calculate that midpoint of the night. He didn't know how to calculate midnight. And to establish his word at the time of the event. Since he wasn't going to be able to back himself up, that's why he said Kachatzot and not Bachatzot. Now you understand why we needed that second phrase of Ulahamid Devar B'Shat Hamiura. Lest the Egyptian ask him, can you please, Moshe Rabbeinu, show me when is this time going to be exactly? Show me. But Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know how to calculate that time, and therefore he's not going to be able to go ahead and basically show them proof. Or what does that mean? At midnight? That's why he went and he said Kachatzot. Okay. Rabotai, now I want to go ahead back into the Gemara and we're going to try to do the Hagod V'Tzunim with you. You know something? Before we do Hagod V'Tzunim, let's do Tosfot. Because I know the Hagod V'Tzunim is going to throw me on Tosfot, but let's just do Tosfot, so therefore we're not going to have to come back and forth. You'll see how it's going to answer everything. Tosfot, Kachatzot, I'm sorry. And Tosfot came, not Tosfot, and Moshe Rabbeinu came, and he said to Paro, Bachatzot. Comes Tosfot and he says, one second, V'im tomar, and if you're going to say, Mikol makom lema Bachatzot, why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu say Bachatzot? Ki Moshe amru lo min hashamayim. Just like they told him from heaven. Daha emet amru lo, because they told him the truth. Tosfot is asking a very simple question. Even if you want to say, at the very least, let Moshe Rabbeinu say Bachatzot exactly the way it was given to him from heaven. Because what they told him was emet. Why was Moshe Rabbeinu right now afraid to go ahead and tell them Bachatzot? Because he didn't know how to calculate the time according to Rashi. Okay, you don't know how to, but what they told you is emet. So you don't know, okay, fine. But what about the Kadosh Baruch? If he told you something, by him that's emet. Why should I care if other people are going to understand what Hashem wants from me? This is the emet. This is the truth. This is how it's supposed to be. Hashem said, Bachatot. What do you mean? But no. What do you mean? I don't know how. What does it have to do with you? If Hashem said it, bottom line. Rabotai, listen to the next few lines. V'yesh lomar, and one can say like this. This is how you can answer the question. Shelo ratza lomar lahem davar shelo haya yachol harot ulohachiach im yishalu lo. He didn't want to say to them something that had they asked him, he wouldn't be able to show to them and prove them. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. The reason why Moshe Rabbeinu, you're right, he could have said bachatzot and not kachatzot. He could have said bachatzot because that's the emes. That's what Hashem said, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen at chatzot. So why don't you say it, Moshe? Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabotai, anav mikol ha'adam. What he answered? Shelo ratza lomar lahem davar. He didn't want to say nothing to the Egyptians. Shelo haya yachol laharot ulohachiach im yishalu lo. That had they asked him, Moshe Rabbeinu, can you please show us what does that mean? Bachatzot? He was not going to be able to show and prove them that point of Bachatzot at midnight. He wasn't able to do that. If he wasn't able to do it, Moshe Rabbeinu said, it's better I say Kachatzot and not put myself into basically trouble. Moshe Rabbeinu was ensuring himself, Rabotai. Very, very important Musar Haskell. Two important points from Tosfot. One, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says something, it's emet. It doesn't change. From day one of creation until the end of days, nothing changes, Rabotai. People might change. What we want to hear might change. But the Torah stays emet. The Shulchan Aruch is emet. Our Rishonim are emet. Gemara is emet. Achronim is emet. Rabotai, our Torah is emet. So when it says something in the Torah and you say, but I don't understand it. I can't put it together. What are people going to say? Blah, boo, blah, all this. Rabotai, if the Torah is emet, it's emet. Whether you are able to understand it or not, that's not the question. The question is, what does Hashem want from you? Does he want X or does he want Y? Does he want what the Shulchan Aruch is saying or does he want what your Yetzer Hara is saying? He, Rabotai, gave us Shulchan Aruch, which is emet. He gave us the Torah, which is emet. Gemara, which is emet. Rishonim, Achronim, everything is emet. And we still, Rabotai, somehow, somewhere, find a way to come out of this emet and follow through sheker chas v'shalom. Point number one. Point number two, Rabotai, look at Moshe Rabbeinu's anava, humbleness. Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't want to say, Rabotai, Hashem told him. Hashem told him bachatzot, but he didn't want to say kechatzot because he was not going to be able to prove to them, to the Egyptians, and to show them that point of midnight. He was not going to be able to do it. So therefore he wanted to, ensure himself, not to get in trouble. He said kechatzot, to be on the safe side. How many people today, Rabotai, when a halachic question is asked, or anything else, people jump out. Oh, like this answer, like this answer. Why? You saw it inside? No, my rabbi said it. Okay, your rabbi said it. Ask your rabbi where he saw it. He'll tell you his rabbi said it. Rabotai, it doesn't work like that. Moshe Rabbeinu, that's how you know when a person is humble. Person asks halacha. Rabotai, many times that happens. In front of me, Rabotai. We have rabbi sitting on the table. Somebody asks a question. Rabotai, amaratzim, mamish amaratzim, people that never opened up a book in their life. They just listen to shur maybe while they're driving, when they're sleeping, when they're eating, I don't know. Gedolim, Rabotai, on the table, dayanim. Somebody asked a halacha question. Oh, answer like this. Well, you know the answer. Rabotai, even if you heard something, you never saw it with your eyes. Rabotai, you only heard. You're so confident. Are you going to be able to back up what you just said? Oh, my rabbi said it. Rabotai, what does it mean my rabbi said it? Shulchan Aruch said it. Chacham Ovadia, Rav Yitzchak Yosef, the Tur, Pinchas Tshuva, something, Rabotai, something where I can feel it, Rabotai. If I'm going to tell you, you're making money. There was once a story. There was once a story with a worker and his boss. The boss comes to the worker And he tells me, I've been watching you lately. You've been doing great at work. He's like, yeah. Okay. Says, I want to give you a raise. The worker's like, what? Baruch Hashem, it paid off coming every single day early and leaving late. Okay, 1 month passed, not a penny up. 2 months, nothing. 1 year, nothing. 2 years, nothing. 5 years, nothing. One day the worker says, maybe he forgot. Let me ask him. He goes to the boss and he tells him, boss, with all due respect, you remember you one time said you wanted to give me a raise? What happened to that raise? The boss looks at him and he says, did I lie to you? I said I wanted to give you a raise. I never said I'm giving you one. Rabotai, same thing with us, Rabotai. Do we have something to hold on? When you want to paskin, first of all, to paskin in front of a rabbi is a sur. That's a very big no-no. Forget about that, Rabotai. Especially when you don't know the halachot and you paskin. Especially halachot that are not written, you're chayav mitah. You get chasham, Rabotai, taken away from this world at a very young age, Lolenu. Lolenu, Rabotai, chasham on nobody. But people have to understand, people have to know the severity of what does it mean to jump in when there's a rabbi there, Talmidei Chachamim. Where are you jumping? Where you still learn Torah all day? Can you imagine a doctor in the office, in the room, and there's interns. So now they ask the doctor how to do heart surgery. Before he can open his mouth, the interns, they jump. Oh, like this, I heard like this, I heard. Come on, Rabotai, come on. Where are we going, Rabotai, where are we going? Rabotai, I'm not going to bring that. Leave that alone. Moshe Rabbeinu knew to say Bachatzot. But because he wasn't able to back himself up, he said Kachatzot. We need to learn, Rabotai, from our Gedolim. Not from just anybody that we see. Our rabbis, Rabotai, our forefathers, our Rishonim, our Achronim, our Rabotai, our Torah has everything. From them we have to learn what does it mean anava. Even sometimes when you know the answer, sometimes better to be quiet. Let the rabbi answer. Let the rabbi answer. Even if you saw it inside, let the rabbi answer. There's a reason why he's a rabbi. In any event, so these are very two important points. Number one is, if what Hashem says is emet, there's no reason for us to go ahead, understand the question with Moshe Rabbeinu. There's no reason for Moshe, okay, he knows, he doesn't know how to calculate the time. Fine, Moshe Rabbeinu, you don't know how to calculate the time, okay. But Hashem said it. That's one point. When Hashem tells us something, we have to do it. No question asked. I know, I don't know, I can't, I don't. No, Rabotai, out. This kind of mentality, out. Next, second point. Even when you do start Rabotai already knowing, the next point is, don't be quick to answer without first having a backing for what you're about to say. I heard it. Nobody cares you heard it. We need to see it inside. Is it brought down the Shulchan Aruch? Is it brought down in the Torah? Is it brought down in one of the Achronim? In the Rishonim? Is it brought down anywhere what you're saying? But people, Rabotai, they spit out halachot. They say things. You ask them, where'd you hear that? Where'd you see that? My rabbi. Call your rabbi. Minhag Olam. Rabotai, I don't want to tell you. A few times it happened already. That Baruch Hashem, when I had the zechut, when I was learning Rabbi Davidov, we were learning, I'm not going to get into the sugis, but we were learning halachot and Shulchan Aruch, because I don't want people to catch on who I'm speaking about. And I said to the rabbi, I said, Kvod Rav, how do you tell me, because I saw the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch is the opposite of what we're doing over here in Queens. So he said, why is it like that? I said, I don't know, because he said, listen, the rabbis are the ones that are leading the communities. He said, call the rabbis. I called 2 rabbis at that moment, 2 big rabbis. When each one went ahead and each one told me that we do it like this because it's a minhag, I told him the Shulchan Aruch. You know what each one answered me? He said, we don't do Shulchan, no Shulchan Aruch. It's minhag is more important. Then Rabbi Davidov got on the phone and he said, excuse me? So Shulchan Aruch, you want to say minhag is more important? Where'd you get this custom from? He called this custom, he called minhagim, bura maratzim. Ignorant people made minhagim. If you don't have a source from where a custom comes, we don't follow it, Rabotai. somebody says that minhag is not to eat kemich yashan. Are you serious? Kemich yashan is Isur D'oraita. And this is Rabotai. I told Rabbi David, I said, Kodarab, I told you this when he came. I said, this is the difference. You could tell me all the halachot, but unfortunately, you're going to be hearing this concept of minhag. And we all know the famous saying that they say, what is minhag? If you play around with the word, it spells Gehenom. Minhag can also bring you to Gehenom. Rabotai, that's why we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful who we learn by, what we hear, what we see. It's not so simple just to go and listen to any Divrei Torah and think that this is the Torah Moshe Sinai. It doesn't work like that, Rabotai. You will be surprised. And a lot of it, Rabotai, if it's made up, it's just too bad for the community. It's very sad because a lot of it, Rabotai, is wrong. Even bring me Rav Yitzchak Yosef, bring me another posting, bring me somebody that says like you. And that's what Rabbi David told me. He said, it doesn't matter what they say, it matters what the Shulchan Aruch says. We follow the Shulchan Aruch, Chacham Ovadia, Rav Yitzchak Yosef. We follow our Gedolim. If they don't write this minhagim, we don't follow this minhagim. As simple as that, Rabotai. Again, why am I bringing this down? We have to be educated. We have to educate ourselves when it comes to these things. You don't know something, don't say it. Even if you know it and there's a rabbi there, let the rabbi speak. There has to be anava, Rabotai. There has to be humbleness in ourselves, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabotai, he knew Hashem spoke to him, el peh, mouth to mouth. Still, Moshe Rabbeinu said, if I can prove something, I'll be quiet. Very, very important fact, Rabotai. Remember this, very, very chashuv. Okay. Let's continue now back in the Gemara. Now, in the Gemara, and then we're going to go to Hagaot V'Tziranim. I'm going to do the second version of how to learn this Gemara. So it comes to read the Gemara and it says like this. Ela de Amrle, rather Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Lemachar bachatzot, tomorrow at midnight, ki hashta, like now. You see there's an Ot Hey, go to Hagaot V'Tziranim Ot Hey. Listen how he wants to learn it. Sefer Acheret Nimchak, another book, erases this text. That's why it's in quotes. You have to take away the word Lemachar ki hashtam. However, if we're going to keep it, you are able to answer Tosfos' question. Listen what he says. You have to learn like this. Nusach Acheret, another version of this Gemara is like this. Ela de Amr bechatzot lemachar ki hashta. Rather Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, bachatzot, at midnight, lemachar, tomorrow, ki hashta, like now. Rabotai, what does that mean? Pirush, listen how the Hagaot V'Tziranim wants to break this piece down. Pirush, the explanation, the meaning. Shediber imo, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe, bachatzot. Rabotai, listen carefully. Ve'amar lemachar ki hashta. And he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, tomorrow, like now, I will go into Egypt and kill every Egyptian firstborn. Rabotai, pay close attention. Hashem did not tell Moshe Rabbeinu, bachatzot, I'm going in. Hashem said, tomorrow, like now. At that moment when Hashem was speaking to Moshe, was when? Was at Chatzot. That's what comes to Hagaot V'Tziranim, and he says, Ulifizeh lo kasha kushut atosvot. According to this, Tosfot question is not a difficulty. When Tosfot asked, why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu say bachatzot, like Hashem told him to say it? Why did he have to say kachatzot? Very simple, because Hashem never said bachatzot. He said, tomorrow, like now, I'm going to get into Egypt and I'm going to kill all the firstborns. Rabotai, listen how everything changes now. So now when Tosfos said, why doesn't Moshe Rabbeinu say bachatot like Hashem told him? Hashem never told him bachatot. Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, tomorrow, like today, like now, I'm going in and killing every Egyptian born. So that's why he didn't say bachatot. So therefore, Tosfos' question does not even begin. Okay, Rabotai, he says he brought this down from different texts, But nevertheless, Rabotai, they want to conclude, they want to say we have to erase those two words. But there are two ways you could understand this Gemara. There are two versions how you could go ahead and learn this Gemara. You could learn that Hashem said to Moshe, Bachatzot, or Hashem said to Moshe, tomorrow like now, which at that moment they were at Chatzot, and Moshe Rabbeinu knew that. But he didn't tell him Bachatzot. He said, tomorrow like now, I'm going in and killing every firstborn Egyptian boy. In any event, Rabotai, that's all I wanted to show you from this piece. Now let's get back into the Gemara. Rabotai, but the Musar, Haskel, and Tosfos still stands. Rabotai, Tosfos does not get the race because of that. In the question, yes, but in general, with Ada Hagud V'Tzonim, Tosfos Rabotai teaches us a fundamental lesson. What does it mean when Hashem says something? This is the emet, no questions asked, and not to say anything unless you back yourself up with proof. Continues the Gemara Rabotai. So let's do this one more time from the word V'David mihav yad pagad leila emat. Let's do it from there one more time. V'David mihav yad pagad leila emat. And David, did he know when midnight is? Hashta Moshe Rabbeinu havayada. Now Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know. Dichtiv, like it's written in the Torah, Kechatzot halayla ani yotzei b'dach Mitzrayim. At about midnight, I'm going to go into Egypt. My Kechatzot. What was Moshe Rabbeinu saying about midnight? If you're going to say those words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe, Kechatzot, about midnight, is there a doubt before Hashem? Eila de Amrlei, rather you have to say that Hashem said to Moshe, Bachatzot, at midnight. Ve'ati'ihu ve'amar kachatzot. And he came and he said, about midnight. Alma, so we see from over here, Misav Kaleh, so we see from over here, to Moshe Rabbeinu, it was a doubt. V'David havayada what? And David knew when Chatzot is, when he said Chatzot lail akum leodot laich. So comes the Gemara is going to say yes. In reality, David HaMelech did know. How did David HaMelech know? The Gemara says, David simana havali. David had a sign. He had something that would show him that it was midnight. The Amar of Acha bar Bizna, Amar of Shimon Chasida. Rav Acha, the son of Bizna, said in the name of Rabbi Shimon Chasida, Kinor hayat talui lemala mimitoto shel David. There was a harp that was hanging above David HaMelech's bed. Vekeven she'igir chatzot laila, and since midnight has arrived, pay attention to the language of Rabotai, chatzot laila, half the night, which is midnight. Ba ruach tofonit, came the northern wind, v'noshevet bo, and it would blow in it, umnager me'elav, and the harp would start playing music by itself. Listen to the next words. Miyad, immediately. Haya omed v'oseg batorah. Again, Rabotai. David HaMelech immediately would get up and he would be oisek in Torah. Alarm clock, Rabotai. Here's the alarm clock, Rabotai. At the shalamut shachar, until dawn comes up. Rabotai, this is mind-boggling. David HaMelech, king, where he had every reason not to continue learning and relaxing, learned. How much more so we, Rabotai? According to what we were learning in the previous class, David HaMelech would wake up in the beginning of the night and learn Torah also. And now here he's even learning the second half of the night, like we even saw in the previous class. Because he didn't go to sleep the first half, he didn't go to sleep the second half. Rabotai, it's nuts. It's nuts. These people understood what Torah is. They understood what it means to lose Torah by sleeping and learning actual Torah. They understood it. But we, Rabotai, we're confident. All of Mabbai is ready for us. We're 100% confident. That's what, Rabotai. Great people become great through sacrifices like this. Your alarm clock goes off, you get up. Whether it's going to be 2, 3, 4, and you get up and you learn Torah. That's how you become a Talmud Chacham. Not 8 o'clock, you're doing Hashem a favor, coming to davening. 9 o'clock, 9:30, you're eating breakfast. 11 o'clock, you go to the store to buy breakfast. 1 o'clock, you sit down to learn Torah. That's how you learn Torah, Rabotai. You kill half of your day. Rabotai, you heard of the concept, you snooze, you lose? That's true, Rabotai. You snooze, you press the snooze button, you lost out on your day. Rav Yitzchak Yosef Shlomo brings this down. Your day, if you're starting your day right, you're going to have a good day. Successful day. All the great businessmen, Rabotai, all the big Talmidei Chachamim, all the athletes, whoever you want to put, Rabotai, I don't want to put Talmidei Chachamim with businessmen and athletes, Chas v'sholom. But for you guys to understand, everything starts, Rabotai, how you wake up in the morning. Like a bomb, or like a lion, like the Shulchan Aruch Paskin, Siman Aleph, Halach Aleph in the Shulchan Aruch. Itgaber kari la'amol baboker. You should strengthen yourself to wake up like a lion. But when should you wake up? You should be waking up dawn, like David HaMelech. You should be up before dawn. David HaMelech was up already in the beginning of the night. I'm just trying to show you, Rabotai, we have to be up before dawn. Are we up before dawn, Rabotai? Are we really up before dawn? Get up. Another 5 minutes, another 2 minutes. Rabotai, that's how we serve Hashem. If you had a trip to go to, if you had a business deal, you'll be not sleeping all night. You'll be jumping out of your bed if you went to sleep. Very important piece, Rabotai. Very important piece. Immediately, David HaMelech would get up and he'd be oisig, not stam. He'd be oisig, Rabotai. Where did he get all this energy from? Until dawn would come up. Beautiful, beautiful piece, Rabotai. Very beautiful. Mamish, Rabotai, when you learn Gemara, when you understand Gemara, when you try to bring it to your life, that this is how it's supposed to be. If our Tanaim, Amoraim, Gidolim, Rishonim, Achronim did it, why do we think we're better than them? Why do we think we're better than them? Let's see Rashi, Rabotai. Let's see Rashi. Rashi says, Kinor hayatalu l'mal mimitoto. There was a harp that was hanging on top of David HaMelech's bed. Unikavav l'tzatzafon. The holes from the harp were facing towards the northern side. Kevon she'igi chatzot halayla, since midnight has come, ruach tzefonit min hashevet bo. The northern wind would blow in it. The Amar Mar, because the master says in Masecht Berachot Daf Chavhei Amud Aleph, that's page 25, side 1. Arba ruchot min hashevet b'chol yom v'yom. There are 4 winds that blow every single day. Shesh ha'od rishonot shel yom min hashevet ruach mizrachid mihiluch ha'chama. The first 6 hours of the day, the eastern wind blows from where the sun travels, from where the sun comes up. V'shesh achranot ruach deromit. The next 6 hours of the day, meaning the last 6 hours of the day, southern wind. Now the beginning of the night, ruch ma'arvit, western wind. Bechatzot halayla, ruach tzefonit. And at midnight, the northern wind would blow. Now we see why David HaMelech knew when Chatzot was. Because he went according to this cheshbon, calculation. When he would place his harp towards the northern wind, towards the northern side, so when the northern wind would blow, it would begin at Chatzot. Immediately when the music started playing, he didn't turn it like this to put snooze, basically. He got up and he was oisik b'Torah until amud shachar. Now, Rabotai, just to give you a better understanding of Rashi, it's clear, but very simple, Rabotai. You have a 24-hour day. 12 hours during the day, 12 hours at night. From 6 a.m. till 12 p.m., that would be the eastern wind from where the sun starts traveling. The eastern wind. From 12 p.m. till 6 p.m., the southern wind. From 6 p.m. till 11:59, or even 12 o'clock, you could say, the western wind. From Chatzot, from midnight until 6 a.m., the northern wind. Rabotai, we will conclude right over here.